All right, this video is going to be a little bit kind of all over the place and a little bit of a conglomeration of things. I know it's been a little while since I have posted anything, and with 2024 being my first year on YouTube, I kind of was all over the place. It was also the first year that I was in business with my real estate photography business, and it got a little crazy mid-year. Things being the solo one, running everything, it just got a little bit busy. So I do apologize for kind of the lack of a structured content delivery system or schedule. And 2025, we are going to try and get one that is a little bit more solid. I'm going to be trying to post once a month. I can't really commit to once a week. I'd love to be able to, but for now, we are going to at least try to have an update once a month with kind of sporadic videos. I'm also going to have a couple more videos like this that are just a little bit more off the top of my head or off the cuff instead of being a more fully produced piece, because they just take a very long time. And when I am in the thick of it, those really long pieces take a long time to do, and they take up a lot more time, which I just don't have. So I hope you guys can understand, but today I want to really just kind of talk about the year behind us, what went right, what went wrong, what I learned, and a couple things for this year. So let's get into it. The first thing that I learned this year is that there is no one-click solution for what we do. There is not a piece of software or person out there or a business where you can just send them a set number of photos in a recipe that you have learned online from their website and have just a one-click, hey, it's done, it's consistent every single time. This is a huge task. There is a lot of moving parts and pieces to this, and it's about finding an efficient way to get the look and the quality that you need, as opposed to looking for a one-click solution and spending all of your time buying new software, trying new things, because if it existed out there, all of us would be using it, and none of us would be trying to find those perfect editors and having all these little tiny different tips and tricks and secrets that we all learn along the way to make ourselves more efficient. Another thing that I learned this year is it is all about finding the right editors to work with and partner with. And that can be finding somebody who is for the right price for you, if that is what you value. For me, it was about finding somebody who can deliver on the quality and the consistency that I'm looking for. The price was not really an object or a problem for me, because I pass that along to my clients. My clients that I work with expect a level of quality and a level of service, and that comes at a price. It is above my competition. It is above what everybody else offers. It's not, nickel and diming them and about extracting as much money as I can out of each and every shoot. It's about, this is what it costs to do the job that I want to do, and finding the people that want that quality and want that job. And so finding the right editors has really made all the difference for me. I have had no issues with consistency, no issues with quality, zero issues with time. When things are delivered, there's been no question on, oh, did they forget something? Did they miss this? Never. This entire last, I would say 6 to 7 months I have been using them, I've had no issues with them whatsoever. And it does come at a price. I pay around $1.50 to $1.80 an image, depending on what I choose. And that adds up. For a lot of people, that's way too expensive. Anything over $1 is going to break their system, and it's going to charge them way too much money. And I understand that, but it just is about finding the right team and finding the right people. They are out there. Give people a shot, communicate with them, but if something feels off and it doesn't feel like it's clicking, it's probably time to move on. The next thing that I learned is planning and scheduling my social media posts on Instagram or whatever other social media that you use for your business. I don't really consider this one a marketing channel for my business, and that's because this is not where I really reach clients. I reach you guys who I want to help grow your businesses, help you come up with ideas, and kind of help teach you what I know and what has worked for me. So my Instagram and my Facebook are kind of really where a lot of my clients lie. I do have a TikTok, but it has been really hit or miss, because TikTok is just a strange animal in the wide scheme of things. But scheduling them far out, using all of the tools at your disposal, and just planning that out rather than being a couple days ahead, instead being a month or 2 or 3 months ahead, makes it super, super simple. One thing also I have found in scheduling them is that using AI, when you just have, it's a bit of a slow part of the season, you don't really have anything other than portfolio shots, it's the winter, using AI to really help you come up with hashtags and just a caption is absolutely fine. All of the huge accounts out there, all of the big ones with big followings are doing it. Everybody is. And you also have to think about who you're trying to reach. Now, this is going to be tailored to what you do. If you have a more personal touch, if you have a more behind the scenes touch, whatever it is, maybe that's not going to work for you. But for me, being able to go on, feed something a photo, get a good caption, tweak it a little bit for my taste, post it, and just send it out, it's about being visible. It's about being consistent and showing, hey, my social media is active. Because when people see that, then they go, okay, let's look further. Let's go to his website. Or maybe they went to my website and they're checking my socials to see if I'm active on it. It provides a bit of life to your social media to show that you are working, that you are out there. And it just really helps to be consistent as opposed to trying to get super creative about everything you do. If you have the time for it and you have the employees to take care of the rest of it, absolutely fantastic. But for me, relying on these tools and scheduling months out has really made it simple for me to stay on top of my social media. Another thing that's really helped this year, bringing me probably 1 to 2 clients a month, maybe more in the busy season, and honestly giving me a lot of like outside corporate work for rental agencies that may own like dorm buildings or apartment buildings, probably storage companies, and a couple car washes, oddly, has been ranking on Google and ranking on the page 1 for real estate photography, architecture photography, home video tours, Matterport, all the stuff that I do, making sure that I rank locally for the cities and towns that I work in. And that can be pretty difficult if you're in a big metro area, so that may not be feasible, but it's still important to try and figure out how you can increase your rank for those organic results, because they do matter. I didn't think they mattered as much because of when I used to work for a real estate photography company, that was all they tried to do was rank #1 on Google, and they could never figure it out. And they didn't want to listen to me about it. And they couldn't rank on #1. So they would buy for the sponsored post, right? The sponsored spot. And it just never really returned results. And so I didn't really hear a whole lot about it. But working with Daryl Stringer, who, if you are looking for a business coach that is tailored to real estate photography, look up Daryl Stringer. Highly recommend him. He is fantastic. He's helped me rank on Google. He went through my website, told me all the things point blank. Here's what you're doing wrong. Here's what I know to work. Do those things, and I guarantee you'll see results. And I did. I rank in the top probably 1, 2, or 3 spot for every single service that I provide. And it consistently brings me results. And I think that it's confusing, it can be intimidating, it can be really hard, but I think looking at your SEO, paying somebody to help you with it, and getting a handle on it can really bring you a lot more business organically and a lot of new clients who maybe they're just fed up. I have a couple clients who just got fed up with working with the big names here, and they just typed in real estate photographer, where they are, and boom, there I was. And they found me, they liked what I had, they tried me out, and now they are my clients. So never underestimate the power of SEO, and try to remember that once you get it there, and as long as you are consistent with keeping it up to date, you really don't have a whole lot to worry about. A huge thing that I learned later on in the year, a couple months ago actually, just after trial and error really, was, it sounds dumb, but just to keep things simple, whether that's pricing, whether that's gear, whether that's your whole service system, your editors, everything. Keep it as simple as possible, because when it is simple and it is straightforward, it's always going to be better than your competition. The competition can get really complicated. They can offer, you buy multi-pack, you get discounts, you do this, oh, you have to buy that. But complicated, it turns off so many agents, because all they want is somebody who can show up consistently, do a great job, is a professional, and gives them the results that they want. And the price is very flexible on that. Now, granted, it's not like astronomical. Maybe it is if you're in a massive area like, Miami or New York or LA. But from where I am, I'm still able to charge what it costs me to work with those people, to have the right gear that I need for this, and still do a very good job and not have to overwork myself. I think gear is another big one. I was really big into trying to get the latest thing, or, oh, look at this came out, I need to get one of those, I need to get this set up, I need to get that. And honestly, just keeping it simple has made it so much easier. Just using a gimbal with a wide angle autofocus lens instead of my Cinema Prime with a my Ninja on it and all this really heavy stuff. It works, and not trying to go crazy and keep trendy with all of the different editing or the different video techniques and transitions and stuff like that, and just keeping it simple and being really good at what I like is what my clients want. And being consistent about that, and just, again, simple and consistent. Same thing with drones, not going crazy on the drone. I have the new Air 3S, and it's simple, it's straightforward. I keep all my drone shots really simple. I have a system that I've set up that is really easy and repeatable for me. And while my competition is charging so much money for all this stuff, their results don't look anything like mine. And people can come to me, I get exactly what I need for it. I am making money on it, and I keep it straightforward and simple, and I don't worry about getting complicated, because there will be people who come to you with special projects where you can do stuff like that. But honestly, very, very tailored, professional, simple compositions and music and angles and shot, just everything simple and really professional, like done really well, is one thing that will raise you above your competition so easily. Because trendy will always go out of style, but using something that is good and professional and tried and tested and just being really good at it never goes out of style. And it will always be needed and always be wanted. And it's one thing that kind of was a hard lesson for me to learn this year, with different lenses, different pieces of gear, different techniques, stuff like that, because it's kind of fun to experiment. But at the end of the day, keeping it simple is really going to make it easy for your clients to understand your prices, easy for you to make money, and easy to be repeatable. And that is a very valuable thing in what we do. And the last thing that was a huge thing that helped me this year was just talking to my clients, whether it was sitting down with coffee or even just at a vacant shoot when they've got some time to kill, asking them questions about what they need, what they want, how they interact with my business, and what I can do better to make the experience easier for them has made so much of a difference. Everybody has kind of their thing that they do that they know is probably, I'm losing money on this or that. One of the things I did was I overshot everything, because as a photographer and somebody who does this more than just as a business, I have done for so many different types of photography, portraiture, advertising, magazine, all that stuff. I overshot everything, and sticking to 40 photos, 30 photos sometimes it was a nightmare. I didn't know what to do. And sitting down, talking with and learning from my clients really helped me understand what they're looking for. They only want a couple exteriors, 2 fronts, a couple of the back, this and that, the other thing. They don't need all this stuff. And so it was really easy for me to learn, okay, well, when I shoot, I can still overshoot because the shooting doesn't take me a ton of time. But when I am culling everything and I am picking things to be edited, I know exactly the angles that people are looking for. I know what this client likes. I know what they want. Same thing with video. I was going crazy on the editing on my videos because I was, again, seeing things that were trendy and being like, hey, I should try and implement that here so I can get some more work. And it didn't bring clients that I wanted to work with. It kind of pushed out some of my other clients away from ordering stuff from me. And it was something that I was doing because it was trendy, not because I believed in it. And so once I sat down and learned with them, or talked with them and learned from them, and I kind of sat down with my fiance and did, an audit of where I lost money, where I earned money, what I did this year, I really learned this is where the rubber meets the road. This is what people want. And this is what I need to do because it's repeatable and it's easy, and we can make tiny adjustments rather than big directional shifts in things And it's about being consistent. That's what I've said throughout this entire video so far, is so much about being consistent and being easily repeatable. But learning from my clients about what they want and how they interact with my business really changed how I think about it. And that mindset has really helped me coming into this new year with prices and packages and all this other stuff, keeping it really simple and straightforward, because I know how they like to interact and I like working with them. So that's going to bring in more people who are like-minded like them. And it's going to make those clients, you know, lifelong clients for me. And it's been really valuable. So I highly suggest, if you can, talk to some of your best clients, learn from them, and see where you can change things and maybe make some adjustments. All right, and looking ahead at 2025, I hit this in the beginning, but I really want to be a little bit more consistent on the YouTube channel. I want to be more consistent on the TikTok channel, the profile. I don't know. I use TikTok, but I don't know. It's such an interesting beast, TikTok is. And it's really hard to stay consistent because it's such a different target market. And there are more people like you guys on there who are looking for tips about photography than there are real estate agents who are looking for, you know, tips about I can help their real estate business and being advertised to. So I'm still trying to figure that one out, but just being more consistent. And about making consistent, high quality content. But again, keeping it more simple. I think I tend to get in my head too much. Like, this video is gonna be super, super long. I've probably lost half of the audience by now, but like, I have to remember that this is about being me as much as it is about being, you know, consistent on those channels. And what I mean by that is I get too in my head sometimes about, oh, this was too long. Should have been 30 seconds instead of 2 minutes. And I refine and I just exhaust myself. So I think there's going to be more of an emphasis on being consistent as opposed to being perfect about everything or tailoring everything. So there'll be a lot more of this free form kind of like, it is what it is content, and we'll learn as we go. I'll learn and I'll kind of just like trim it naturally. So being more consistent is going to be a big goal on it. Like I said, I'm going to say once a month right now. So we'll have 12 videos that are going to be really nice produced topics. But outside that, I'm going to try and post just kind of things like this, off the cuff stuff that comes to me, you know, while I'm out, stuff like that, because I think those are also valuable. And we'll just go from there. We'll keep bringing people in and we'll refine as we go. A big thing this year too, as I talked about in the 2024 from learning to talk to my clients, is charging more. Charging more so I make the right amount of money that I need to off of things, staying, you know, in the black basically. Because I had some things that I was not making enough money on. I had video products that, you know, I was kind of sacrificing my time on so that I could get the experience, and that was great. But now it's something that I have a system in place. I have a simple and consistent and repeatable look to everything that I do. It's time to make sure I am charging what I need to charge for that. And if it comes to it that, you know, I need to reduce my quality or I need to find another solution, we will adjust. But for now, it has been about increasing my prices, letting my clients know that there has been a price increase. It hasn't been much, to be honest. There were things I was making money on that I was actually probably charging a little too much for. But yeah, we have adjusted everything, and being more consistent in charging those prices and saying this is what it is, and if they don't want to buy it, then they don't want to buy it. And we will have a look and see what is doing well, what isn't doing well. But going forward, it has a big thing in 2025 I'm looking forward to is charging what things are worth and making more money, because that has been the big thing, is that this is just a business. And while it can feel personal to some people who may not be very business minded like myself, I'm far more creative than I am business minded. It was an eye-opener. And so that's one thing in 2025 I am looking forward to doing a better job at, is consistently charging more money for what things are worth. A big thing in 2025 that I want to do is find my first recurring, like, long-time architecture client. I've done a little bit of architecture work here and there, but they're pretty hard to break into. There's a lot of local pros that kind of take up all of the work, and a lot of that work isn't consistent, right? Like, there's only a certain number of very big architecture projects that happen around here, and being so close to a large city, it doesn't help because there are huge agencies there that kind of have all the bids and everything like that. So trying to find either a designer or an architect who can give me the time that I need or allow me to take the time that I need to shoot their projects and do the quality and job that I want, because I look up to a lot of architecture photographers and design photographers with some envy. But yeah, I also want to make sure that that client is right for me, because the architecture work that I have done for some people, it has been to the detriment of myself, because they don't treat you right sometimes. And because, you know, they have egos, they're big, they're whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I have the portfolio to get started now. And it's just it hasn't been fun working for people that I don't want to work with. And above all, I have consistent income coming from my commercial and real estate stuff. So I want to take the time to do it right and find that client in 2025. And the final thing that I'm really going to push myself to do in 2025 is to stick to the systems when it gets busy and it gets hard. And instead of letting stress get in, reminding myself that I have systems in place. And as long as I follow those consistently and keep to the simple compositions, and stick to the system that I've set up, things will be okay. Because when it gets really busy and, you know, as a solo business owner doing 2 or 3 shoots a day, 5 days a week with twilights, 3, 4, 5 nights a week sometimes, you can run yourself down. And so not getting kind of creative and making stuff up and going, sure, I'll charge this, sure, we'll do that, I'll do that. Sticking to the system. And that also means telling people no. And saying that, listen, I am booked up today, and I usually only like to do 2 shoots a day with twilights, and outside that, unless it's a small vacant home, I'm gonna have to say no. And sticking to that and not overworking myself is something I'm really looking forward to doing more in 2025 and being consistent about that. And to wrap this up, I just want to speak to the people that are still here. If you made it this far in this video, you guys know who you are, and I am talking to you. I want to say thank you for making this a thing. I didn't know if there was room for my opinions, the way that I like to deliver things, the longer form videos, the rambling, the stuff like that, but you have shown me that there is. And while I can do more produced pieces and things that take more of my time and take more effort, there are people that just like this off the cuff kind of stuff, and that I can be myself and I can feel like what I want to do is enough. And so thank you guys. Just thank you for making this what it is. I hope to be more consistent and deliver more things to you. Please keep the comments coming, the emails coming, the Instagram messages. I try to get to them when I can. I got to protect my mental health. Trying to answer all the comments and just reading through so many of the shitty comments has been tough sometimes, especially when you work really hard to produce a message, or when, like, I got in another YouTuber who was posting poor information about a topic, and when I asked them, hey, you're wrong about this, maybe you could amend it, they were horrible to me and really flexed their ego on me and their following, and I really don't ever want to have to deal with that. I like what I do. I like my simple photography, and I like being good at it more than I really care to be social media famous. So if this keeps growing and it keeps getting bigger, great, but I'm not really trying to be big. I want to always be able to be honest with you guys about my opinions, what I do, what I feel, and I just want to be more consistent about it. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for everything. Keep everything coming, and we will get one more video out this month. This isn't going to be the big produced piece. I'll come up with something else, and yeah, let's just get into 2025. Let's all make some more money, take a little more time off, and love what we do a little bit more. Thanks, guys.